Hey guys, today I am going to be doing kind of a meat food prep video for you. This video was inspired by Mandy at Sweetly Home. Go check out her channel. She is so sweet. I just love her. I love her videos. I'll link her video to her bulk ground beef freezer meal thing that she did that inspired this video. So I thought I would just kind of share what I do with mine. So this is what I bought here. I bought this yesterday at Costco. It is a little over 6 pounds and it was $19.59. I also have my handy dandy scale here and we're just gonna go ahead and get started. The first thing I'm gonna be working on is making some hamburgers, and so I'm just lining my baking sheet with some wax paper, and then I have this little patty maker press thing and I absolutely love it. However, the patties do stick on the inside. They don't come out very easily. So I have to line the top piece and the bottom piece with some plastic wrap, and that just helps the patties to be able to come out after I press them. For this, I like to use my scale, and I make each patty 4 ounces, and then I press it. I just measure them all out. I had originally planned on just making 4 hamburgers, which is 1 meal for us, but then later on I decided to go ahead and make 2, and that way I would just have 2 meals of hamburgers in the freezer. After I smash it down in the patty press, I take the top piece and I smash it down just a little bit more, because it seems like every time I cook them on the grill, they kind of shrink up and get a little bit thicker. So I like to have them as flat and large as possible, so that way it just cooks a little bit better and then it fits my buns better. This is where I decided to go ahead and make another 4 more hamburgers for another meal. I just moved them closer together so that way I can fit all the burgers on this cookie sheet. However, only 6 of them fit, so I needed to get some more wax paper and just make another layer. I'm going to cover the pan with some plastic wrap and then stick it in the freezer for a couple hours or overnight till they're frozen, and then just take them out and put them into a Ziploc bag. I'm going to go ahead and divide the rest of it out into half-pound increments. That's what we usually use when I make spaghetti or taco salad or burritos or anything like that. If I ever need a pound for a recipe, I can just take out 2 packages. This last bit here is going to be for dinner tonight. I'm going to make some meatloaf, and it was just under a pound. So I took a tiny bit from each little pile that I had here just to make it to 1 pound. In order to save bags, which I really only have the gallon-sized freezer Ziploc bags, I'm just going to freeze them all into the same bag. So I'm just taking each of these and I'm kind of forming it into a disc. I'm going to separate them in the bag here so they're not touching, and then just stick it in the freezer so that way when I need one, I can just pull it out of the bag and I'm not wasting a bunch of bags. 2.5 pounds. I'm actually going to cook up to freeze. It's nice having meat that's cooked in the freezer, especially when it's a meal that I just need to quickly throw together if I'm running out of time or something like that. So I'm going to put some chopped onion into each of these, and then I'm also going to chop up some bell pepper and put those in there as well. This pan is going to be for when we have spaghetti or lasagna or some sort of pasta dish. This top pan here is for when we have chili. I'm adding in about 1/2 tablespoon of chili powder as the meat is cooking. This is what my friend does. It's her recipe. It is so good. And we usually have chili on Sunday afternoon after church. So this will be really good to have in the freezer, already cooked, ready to go Sunday morning when I throw it in the crock pot. Now on to the meatloaf, which is going to be for dinner tonight. I've got 1 pound of meat here. To that, I'm going to add an egg, a little bit of pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then my 4-year-old little helper buddy here is going to add in 1/2 cup of oats. These are old-fashioned oats, but you can also use quick oats, and then also 1/2 cup of ketchup. Part of that is actually going to be barbecue sauce. I love how it adds just a little bit of a smoky flavor, so I've been doing that for a while now and I absolutely love it. And then lastly, I'm going to add in some dried minced onions. I like to use 2 forks to mix this together really well. This is supposed to fit into an 8x8 dish, but mine is actually in the refrigerator with leftovers. So I'm going to grab my next size up, which is not the 9x13, it's the one right before that. And I'm going to use 2 forks to spread it out nice and even. I'm also going to top it with some ketchup. I'm going to leave part of it without ketchup because I don't like ketchup. Shocking, I know. And then I'm going to bake this in the oven at 350 for about an hour. Anytime I'm working with raw meat, I always make sure that I disinfect the countertop when I'm finished. I'm just using this Granite Safe homemade disinfectant spray. It's 91% rubbing alcohol mixed with water, so I'm just going to spray it and wipe the counters down really well. The cooked ground beef has cooled enough now, and I'm going to go ahead and stick it in some containers and put it in the freezer. Now it's time to move on to chicken. I like to buy the boneless, skinless chicken breasts at Costco. It comes in a pack of 6. There's 2 boneless, skinless breasts in each package. So what I like to do is just cut it all apart. And we're having company tomorrow for dinner, so I'm going to leave out 3 packages so I can marinate them later. I'm going to cut the rest apart, and I like to stick them on this cookie sheet just to keep them nice and flat, because sometimes when I stick them in the freezer, they kind of clump together and it's a little hard to get them apart when they're frozen. So I just like to separate them out and lay them on here. It just makes it a lot easier. I like to pound out my chicken because it makes it easier to grill. It's more even to cook. I'm actually using a glass cup, which is not really a smart thing to do, so don't follow me here if you want to try this at home. I don't suggest you try it. I'm just really careful. I have not broken the cup yet. I do need to get a regular mallet But I'm just gonna pound out each of these, and I'm leaving them in the package to pound them out just so I don't have to worry about juices splattering everywhere. Sometimes I'll put them on a plate and cover it with plastic wrap and then pound them out, but it's just easier to keep it in the package and pound it out. I'm putting all the chicken in the Ziploc bag, that way I can just throw the marinade in it tomorrow. It's just easier to get it all prepared today instead of having to worry about it tomorrow, since I'm dealing with the rest of the chicken today. Faith started grabbing the tripod here, and my hands were all dirty, so I had to hurry up and wash them before she ended up knocking it over. I'm sticking this bag of chicken in the refrigerator in the bottom drawer, which is designated for raw meat only. That way it'll be super easy to pull out tomorrow and throw in the marinade. Again, I am spraying disinfectant all over the countertop. I'm gonna let that sit for a while, and then I'll wipe it down and throw the rest of the chicken in the freezer. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And my kids are going crazy, so I need to go. I will see you guys later. Bye.